Hey, welcome back to St. Mojo Homestead. We are hanging out in the goat house because this week we're talking about goats. But first, it's the weekend, so it's time for highs and lows. My high was we got a new addition to our farm, and I'm really excited about her. I was nervous at first, but she's doing really well. She's settling in, so I'm really excited about that. My low was trying to tie loose ends up before Christmas and get lots of appointments in, and it just has felt a little bit chaotic. I am a homebody. I'm glad we got them all in 1 week and we're done.
Yes, now you can relax.
Yes. Too much running around for me, but yeah. It's done now, so that's
it. It is. So for me, it was a very eventful week. Not necessarily busy, but eventful. There's a lot of explanation, and that's actually going to be probably the first part of this video.
Right.
So my low was I went to a delinquent tax auction on Monday to try to win our road, and that's where the story comes in. But our road is a privately maintained road owned by someone who doesn't, he's the one who sold all the land out here. So we decided that we would just go buy it rather than pay his taxes every year, because he wasn't paying it because he had nothing to lose. It was just a road. So anyway, it was quite the experience. Exciting, but then sad in the same way of just how people's properties are literally just being kind of thrown out to the highest bidder. It was my low because I ended up not winning the bid, and I didn't think anybody would be bidding on it because it's a road, but there were bids, and I had a max bid, and it wasn't very high because, who's gonna bid on a road? Well, people were bidding on it, went above, so I didn't win it, and it was just very deflating for the first part of the week. The high was news that I got later in the week regarding all of that. And then also my other high was getting our goat and hitting 100 subscribers plus.
Yay!
I know, that was our first little mini milestone with the whole YouTube channel. And we got it this week, and that was really exciting. So thank you for all of our subscribers. Yes. But really those last several that put in got us over that. Really, thank you. We really do appreciate that. We're doing this for us, and we've always said that, but we're also doing it to get content out there for you guys. And so you guys help to make this possible. So really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And thank you to everyone who shared.
Yes, and keep that up. We have other milestones too that we want to meet with this channel, and so we're just going to keep going with it. So keep helping us out. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory of why the road was something we were interested in having.
Right. Who wants a road?
Who wants a road? But the road, the way the road is actually, the lines are drawn.
So it's a 1-lane road down where we are, because we're at the end of it.
Yeah.
But the lot is 50 to 75 feet wide. Yeah. So there's a good bit of land buffer on either side.
Right. And so we wanted to make sure that we had all the way to the road on our side of the road. I don't want to be doing things on someone else's piece of property. So it was nice to know that it was available and that we could have it to use it, because we kind of already are. And the other side of that is that we could actually, right now we're just under 5 acres. So if we got that land and added it to our parcel, we would actually be over 5 acres, and we could apply for a tax break, an agricultural tax break. So for us, that was also obviously very appealing to be able to get a little bit more land, to be able to get that tax break and just have that extra money to do stuff on our homestead.
Right. And so you may be thinking well, you just said you didn't get it. Well, here's the kicker. So I've got a connection in the Treasury Department office for the county, and he knew kind of the story and that we were trying to go for it, and he was at the auction. And so he contacted me at the end of Thursday and said, hey, the lady that was bidding against you did not know she was bidding on a road, you know, which is kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
But it was still like, I mean, you know, even if they didn't know, like the sale, if it goes through. Anyway, so she did find that out. She had just come in and paid the fee to basically like drop the sale. And so it means it's available again. It also means that we get it for way cheaper than what we would have at auction.
If we get it. It's not ours
If we
yet.
get it. It's not a done deal. There's a whole process just because of the whole delinquent tax thing. But it does sound like it is, for the most part, a done deal. And our connection is going to kind of help us out with that too.
Yeah.
So huge blessing. You know, like what I thought was just kind of the end of what we had really been praying for, was really just kind of a setup. And even the way I see it is the Lord protecting us and our finances, of saying, hey, you don't have to go this route.
Yeah.
Even though it seems impossible, I'm going to work in the impossible, and you're going to get it for the cheapest possible amount that we could have gotten it for.
Yeah.
So the other thing, and the main thing we wanted to talk about today, was our new addition to the homestead. We got a new goat, and it's not the same type of goat that we got before, that we already have, which are Nigerian Dwarfs. This one is a mini Nubian. So we're going to talk about the differences in this video of the two and why we chose to add that one instead of continuing to add Nigerian Dwarfs. So a mini Nubian is a good bit bigger than the goats we have. So there's some prep work that has to take place before we bring her in and she can get settled in. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what we're doing to do that. All right, so in preparation for our new goat, one thing I'm going to be doing is just securing this ramp a little bit better. This ramp up into the goat house that you can see behind me was meant to be only temporary, and it worked, so I left it. It will probably be a little bit more difficult for a larger goat to navigate, and we are getting a larger goat today. So what I'm going to do is basically just use these things and use them as supports. And then I've got a spare piece of plywood that I will rip down the middle, cut it in half, so it'll be about 2 feet wide. This isn't really a DIY, I just wanted to kind of talk about what we're doing in preparation for this new goat and making sure that our setup for our little Nigerian Dwarfs are going to be adequate for a mini Nubian, which is what we're getting. So I'm going to go ahead and start on that. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it before the mini Nubian gets here, but that's okay. It'll be done today. All right, so to talk a little bit about this ramp, as you can see, Majestic is a pretty big girl. So we needed to make our ramp a little bit more sustainable to hold that weight. And it probably would have worked, but it was really narrow. And as I said before, it was really only meant to be kind of a temporary makeshift ramp. So we just took advantage of getting a bigger, newer goat and did an overhaul. So yesterday it was raining when I came out here to finish it up, so I didn't get to get any of that on film, but that's okay. I wanted to show you guys what we did. So essentially what we had before for the ramp were 2x6s. So I just used those to brace it, and then we had some plywood left over. I doubled up on those plywood sheets and then used some scrap old fencing that we had to basically make it to where they wouldn't just slide down it. It would actually be a ramp rather than a slide for them. So this has worked great. We've had a chance to see her walk up it, walk down it. It holds us fine. And so this is an excellent long-term solution for what we did have.
So this is Majestic, our new mini Nubian. Mini Nubian is a cross between a Nubian goat and a Nigerian dwarf goat. So she is smaller than your typical Nubian, but still a lot bigger than our other girls that we have on the homestead. But the reason why we wanted to add her is because of the milk supply. So Nigerian Dwarfs have awesome milk and it tastes amazing, but they don't produce as much milk as your larger breed goats do. So this is kind of a happy medium for us. Mini Nubians still have that really good high butterfat content in the milk, which makes it a really good tasting, high quality milk, but they produce a lot more of it. We don't really know how much she'll produce. This is her first freshening, even though she's not a baby, like a newer goat. So we're not totally sure, but we do know her milk lines, and we are confident that she's going to be a great addition to our homestead. Her sister is a really high producer and her mom is a really high producer. We are going to be able to, I think, at least double the milk we get on a daily basis just by adding one goat to our herd, which to me, that's amazing. So the other reason why I'm really excited about having a mini Nubian on our homestead is because last year, milking the Nigerian Dwarfs, they have smaller teats than most goats, and I actually started experiencing some numbness and pain in my hands just from having to milk such small goats. Mini Nubians have larger teats. I'm hoping that will eliminate that problem. We actually had to cut back to once a day milking towards the end of the milk season because I just really couldn't keep up with my hands. So I really hope that having her will give my hands a little bit more reprieve and I'll be able to milk without the pain and the numbness.
So one of the reasons that she never has been bred is because she came from Goat Daddy's farm. That's where we got the rest of ours. They are a commercial grade A goat dairy. We will link them below. Definitely go check them out if you haven't already. They do a lot of good stuff outside of just the dairy. They are also an animal rescue. So kind of an interesting one to follow. So definitely give them a follow. But the reason they were getting rid of this one and she had never been bred is because in their large herd, this one's always been really skittish, very hands-off with people, never want anybody to really engage her. And so it wasn't worth it to them to breed her and then try to deal with all of that during milking. And so they just never bred her and she was kind of just taking up space. So Jason over there was like, hey, Say Mojo would be a great fit for her, and contacted us, asked us if we'd be interested. We said, yes, we will. We'll give this one a try. And she has been amazing already. It's only been, we got her yesterday, so it's only been not even 24 hours really when we're doing this video. But she immediately got out, was very personable, and I think it was because she had been removed for a couple months at that point from the main herd, and so she had kind of tamed down a little bit. Pregnancy can also do that. It changes the personalities of goats some, but she has been extremely friendly, comes straight up to us when we come into their pen. We're kind of excited about that part of her. Now, as far as adapting to the other goats, they're doing good. Esther, our little, like, I don't want to say runt, but the smallest one of our group, she's actually coming over right now, immediately took up friendship with her and has really just been showing a lot of affection and everything. So I think Esther is super excited to have a friend who's not bullying her around out here. The other two, they're still trying to kind of pull rank and show her who's boss, even though they're like half her size, and she's submitting to them. Hey girl, hey Esther, did you hear me talking about you? Huh? Did you hear me talking about you and your friend?
So that's it. Thank you for watching us and hanging out with us. Be sure you share and you subscribe if you haven't already. And feel free to ask us questions. We like to read our comments and we like to interact with you guys. Or let us know if you have any questions about any of the other animals we have on our homestead. But other than that, have a great week and be blessed.